Hello, welcome back. Welcome to another edition of Nain Shorts with my lovely assistant Eric. Eric, say hi to people.
Hello.
Actually, it's probably just like one person that watches religiously.
We
Thank
love
you
that
very
person,
much.
yeah.
We love you. Thank you, Dolores. But to everyone else who happens to be catching this particular episode, welcome. If you haven't liked and subscribed, please do so. Lucci is our returning guest because, well, she's a dog. This is her home. What can I say? But hopefully she won't chew in front of the mic like she usually does. But she really likes Eric for some reason. I don't know. Maybe because he's become more dangerous. He has actually been growing a lot in his skills. And don't worry about that right now because we'll talk about it later. But the point is that we've been really working on the idea of how do you go back to the beginning? Or better yet, should you go back to the beginning? Because we always talk about the idea of we need those basics. And we have to. We have to learn the basics, the basic movements, the 1, 11, 5, 7 for us. Whatever the angles of attack are for you, or your pinions, or your early punch arts, or katas, or whatever they may be. You have to learn the basics. Sometimes it's as basic as doing a horse stance for 25 minutes. Not many people do that anymore, but it's a great way to build legs, and some people just don't know how to maintain their structure or how to move off their legs that way. So it's a great tool for learning. But then you get advanced. You start going, do you go back to that? First of all, do you go back to it? And second of all, if you did, should it be different or should it be the same? And that's the question. Because what do you get when you go back to the beginning? Like, if I were to tell you, go back to what you started, because he's only been doing this for 2 years. Go back to the beginning, what you learned 2 years ago. Would it still be the same for you right now?
No. A lot of the understanding of it would be.
Mm-hmm.
In many ways, it's like a book.
Okay.
As you change, the book changes.
Uh-huh.
So you go back and read the book, and you get different things from it. So,
Holy crap, that's a great analogy.
yeah.
No, dude, that's smooth.
So we go back and we look at these fundamentals. We understand them as
Uh-huh.
they were taught, and the more details as we got better and as we grew.
Mm-hmm.
But because we grew, when we go back and look at them again, they're different. We can see different things. We can explore different things.
Well, that's him because he has some intelligence. For me, it was more like, oh crap, I totally missed like 90% of what you were saying the whole time. Because for me, that's what it was. It was really going back and realizing, holy crap, I never paid attention well enough to have caught any of that. But now that I finally understand more, it's kind of clear. But I think and I guess it's different for everyone. For him, it's very cerebral. And I'm just interpreting based on what you said. I'm not trying to put anything in your head. But the way you described it was very eloquent, first of all. And it made a lot of sense to me why the idea of it being a book that you're writing yourself. But it's also information that's being given to you at the same time. So there's this like duality of, yeah, it's information you've been given, but because the other half of that is your understanding, it's always going to change, regardless of what new lessons you get or how much you adhere to the original, way of doing things. Like there's always a change, and to be aware of that, it took me years to understand it, because even now, I see something, especially when Rick teaches something from the past. I'm like, I know what that is, but I never see it or saw it that way.
No, it happens to me too.
Yeah, well, hopefully that means that somebody's doing something right. We're not going to say it's Rick because we don't need him to get a bigger... No, we're good. So you're being a great student for bringing that up. So how do we then go about exploring this? What are the ideas that then we could use to kind of gauge where we are now, and then how does that apply to the things in the past? And for me, one of the best ways to go about doing that is really understanding the concept of timing. For me, it's a lesson we gave to our students recently, and you've seen it before in various ways, but it helped me then start exploring the idea of okay, if we learn this complex drill, you have a timing, say a count of 6. And then all of a sudden you go back to a very basic drill, like for us would be like a 2 count. Just 1 and 11, 1 and 2 for other systems. Now it's just 2. How does it change when you learn the timing in a complex movement and then you go back to a simple movement? And then how does it help you with the new stuff or the more advanced stuff? And that's what I wanted to explore today. So, mind helping me out with that one for a little bit?
Sure.
All right, so we've done this particular drill before. We call it a vibrato. For us, it's at 6. For other people, it's different counts. But essentially, I give him something, he takes care of it. Vibrato.
Sombrero.
Yeah, there you go. Then he gives me, I take care of it. There you go. And at first, there's nothing to it, right? You're just kind of going through the motions. Then as you get more detailed of it, you start getting that rhythm. There you go. You hear it? Cool. So that's us being on time. Now, at any given point, I can change the timing. Okay? Instead of hitting sticks, I hit his hand. But I hit it hard enough for him to understand, okay, something's happening. The stick is going somewhere else, though. He almost caught it, but not quite. I'm still behind his hand, so that would have totally hit him. But now, what do? Go back to the rhythm. Now you go ahead and disrupt it. There it is. Look at that. Back to the rhythm. Okay. Then, from down there. There you go. Now your turn. Okay. Alright. So, we're changing the rhythm. Essentially, we're breaking up the drill. But if you noticed, we were able to go back to the rhythm of the drill without having to reset. Now, that becomes an important point because once you're able to do that, you have a good sense of where you are at any given time, and you can just move forward from there instead of having to go back to the first step and starting all over again. Now, I believe that becomes important because now you're aware of where you are at all times. Now you can really start exploring, okay, if I can do it, if I can get back to the drill from any stopping point, whether I'm the person stopping it or I'm the person who's happening to, well, then that means that I can make the changes anywhere else also. Okay? So, what are we talking about now? Quarter beats, half beats. Right? So, I didn't let you finish yours, and I just came in deep, and I got you with that hook. Okay, now, stop it without necessarily creating the beat. Hey, okay. Nice. Okay, back to it. Oh! Now, I realize if we can go in the in-between beats, then that means I can hit him and go back to the regular beat within the same amount of time. But what does that require? Well, it requires me to move faster than the beat itself in order for me to get to where I'm going and still end up where I need to be for the drill. So how would you explore your half beats? Oh, okay. Now we're both doing it at the same time. Good. Nice. You have pretty lips. All right. So this is a more complex drill, right? We have more movement. Now we're exploring where we can go in and out. After a while, though, of repetition, you kind of start doing the same things over and over again. So how conscious are you to be able to push beyond that comfort and start finding new things? And sometimes it becomes a little difficult to really get that sense because you are at a certain level. So what do? Well, go back to the beginning. For us, our beginning is 1 and 11. Now it's just 2. That's it. There's our rhythm. Now, how do we break away from this? Oh, okay. I remember that. Oh, nice. Okay. I barely even touched the stick at that point. Why? Because now I just wanted to get to the leg. Now, I feel like I have more openings because his stick isn't flying all over the place. If this is the only area that's being covered right here, that means the rest of his body is open. Okay, so now bringing it back to the beginning, now I can see the rest of the body. Now, why was that change happening in my head? Well, it was because originally, Sombrada, we have all these movements. We're going from left to right, up and down. So it's covering this whole square here. But when we go back to 1 and 11, oh look, a lot less space is being covered by the stick. Because I'm just hitting the face, which means I can hit the rest of the body along the way. Right? Now how would you then use the same ideas in a simpler way? Okay. I like that. Oh shit. Okay. 11. I like that a lot. I got that from you, by the way.
That was cool.
Because again, now I understand. Oh, the time I have in between, and it doesn't have to be fast. These don't have to make sense at all. It's just changing the ideas, finding myself in different places, and seeing what I can do in that time, and then we get more complex. Now I can move in and out as I need to, or at the very beginning. I can do it on the second one. Because now I understand that I have all the time in the world in those 2 beats. Because regardless of how many points of rhythm are in a particular drill, it's still just 1 at a time. Which means before it, during, or after, there are so many things that I can do. But I was only able to really understand that until we took it back to its most basic movement. We've explored all the other stuff that we can do. We've done the drills where we can drop people and do things like that. But a lot of that was given. Now I'm trying to find the timing to do those things when it isn't. So then what does it look like when you start putting all that together? Come on. Now I can take that from 2 and just end it right there. 3. And now, finish for you, whenever you want. Because it's just that one, hey, and back to it, right? Now, from there. Why? Because now, because of the back and forth of going through the complex things into the most simple version of it, I can start inserting everything else that I've learned up until now. Because now I understand, okay, I have all the time in the world in between these movements. And to me, that's how timing then explored, because it's no longer about his timing. It's just about my timing. Sure, he's important because he's the guy who's attacking me, and if I'm not getting attacked, I don't have to do anything, which is awesome. But in this particular case, in this idea, he's attacking me. He's going to swing at me. And however way he swings at me, he just swings at me, no matter what. I don't know if he's going fast. I don't know if he's going to go hard. All I know is that he's going to do something, but I can't worry about what he's going to do. I can only act on what I need to do, which is my timing. So now that you got a clearer understanding of that, I hope. How does it change then everything else that you do? Can you go back to the beginning of your training and enhance the old stuff and then bring it back and enhance the new stuff. How would you go about doing that? How has that, or have you taken anything away from this exchange right here, right now, which we haven't really practiced?
I like the idea of bringing timing into it.
Mm-hmm.
So we're exploring more of what can be done with those same things we're pretty familiar with.
Right.
So we don't get stagnant. We become creative. And we do it a little more in real time with somebody else, some more variables. And that makes it that much more an idea of application.
And then you bring it back to the simplified version of it, and what happens when you take all those ideas and put it there in a simple 1 and 2? What did it do for you?
Again, it's helping me understand the timing and application.
So it geared your mind more for
right now,
the idea of just doing versus, oh, I have to do something specific.
Yes. Also, I'm not getting lulled into that beat, tick,
Oh.
tick. Right? I'm not just thinking, oh, we're doing it, it's fine. I'm matching his speed. We're clicking sticks.
You know, I'm glad that you said that, because that's a point I didn't even consider. Is the idea that when you get so comfortable with a particular drill, you get so comfortable with the rhythm, at one point you can't even break away from it anymore. So there's something to be said about the repetition of things. Yes, repetition is very necessary for learning something, but how much you go about repeating it, it can become what most people consider muscle memory. So all of a sudden you find yourself only moving in drill form, and whenever something happens outside of that, do you revert back to just doing one swing at a time? What happened to all the other fancy things that you were doing within the drill? Do those go away because we're so stuck in doing it specifically to those movements that we can't go out of it? And that's a great point to make. Getting lulled into that rhythm, because it is comfortable. Don't get me wrong. A lot of people do this stuff for relaxation. We have a good friend who does it just for relaxation. They rather practice with knives. The sticks, they're just for movement, just so them they can get, comfortable. And we understand why. It's safe. Especially if you're at a longer distance and you're just clacking sticks, right? Bam, bam. No, it's a rhythm. It's comfortable. But what if it changes? See, he was about to hit me. Because that's where his brain is. His brain is no longer, I'm going to stay in this comfort zone. It's, I'm going to hit this guy if he tries anything stupid. And I always try stupid things. Because I'm not afraid of getting hit, because that's when you learn. So have a seat, young man. Thank you. That was a great point to make. Getting out of your comfort zone will give you new ideas. Or at least it should. I don't know about the rest of you, but that's what I was taught. And that's something that you yourself are coming across now more and more.
Yeah.
Because it's very simple to get stuck in your ways. But then how do we break away from it? Well, it can be as simple as going back to the beginning and trying to look at it through your new eyes, through the new experiences and knowledge that you've accumulated throughout all that time, and seeing what it becomes. Change something, add something, take something away, and see how it changes the way you view it. Thank you very much, Eric, for helping me today. Thank you, viewers, for watching another episode of Nain Shorts. Till the next one, as always, 3, 2, 1...